Hey guys, before we start off today's video, I just wanted to remind you all that I am using older footage in these videos to put my old recordings to use, as I rather not make new videos for each and every one of them as I previously intended. What matters here is what I say as opposed to what I'm showing, so I hope you guys can understand that. Also, my clan family is currently recruiting, so if you guys have any interest in joining us, please do check out the description and pin comment for more info. Our main clan is a top 120 ranked clan at the time of recording this, and it sits at almost 5,400 trophies after just over 3 months of being established. We screen players applying and have some ground rules, but I can assure you they're all very reasonable. For those not meeting the requirements for our main clan or not passing our tryouts, we may offer a spot in our second clan, GG Olympus, which isn't too far off from Legendary Arena, and you can even get free training to help you become a better player if you're a member with us from top players in our main clan. I hope to see some of you guys checking us out on Discord sometime, and with these messages out of the way, let's get right onto the main video. Hey, what's up everyone? Clash Royale is a game loved by many, and as you can imagine, the following it has is huge. Your objectives are relatively simple. Crush your enemies in an epic battle by smashing one or more of their towers while also fending off their advances. There are many ways to enjoy the game, from unlocking cards, climbing to higher arenas and leagues, and even competing in large-scale events such as grand challenges, global tournaments, or if you're good enough, CRL. The game has been running for what's almost its third year in existence, and many things have changed with updates since its inception. But like all games we know and love, there are bound to be some good updates, some bad, and even a few things in between. In case you're new to the game and considering starting out, or maybe you've quit and are thinking of returning or anything like that, today we're going to be reviewing some of the more notable changes to the game during the course of 2018. The things that we're going to mention in today's video will be broken down into the following topics: positive changes, negative changes, controversial changes, and finally some of my own thoughts on the game overall. Now, during the course of this video, you may or may not see some old gameplay on display at times, like you will with some of my other content, but this is simply because I'm trying to push out all the old replays I have never gotten around to using. I hope that you guys can understand this, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Over the course of 2018, Clash Royale would have seen many major improvements. It's apparent that they are trying to keep the game as fresh as they can despite the issues of working with a small dev team and also working under the company Tencent, who now owns Supercell. So if you're going to complain about things in the game being unfair in any way, just know that the devs are doing all that they possibly can as long as their employers give them the okay. Anyways, some of the best things that have happened to the game during this year would include, but are not limited to, clan wars, global tournaments, trade tokens, new game modes, and some quality of life updates. Clan wars were added on the 25th of April 2018, which effectively replaced the old clan chess system, much to the distaste of many, at least at first. It soon became apparent from this new system of clan activity that Supercell did wish to spice up things quite a bit. Day 1 consists of players battling up to 3 times, where they can participate in a number of game modes. After every battle, cards are earned, which are what you'll be using in Day 2 for War Day. At the end of War Day, you'll receive a bounty bag provided you did your War Day battle, with gold, victory gold, and a random bonus reward that could be bonus gold, gems, or even trade tokens. Overall, clan wars have helped to keep people's interest in the game and boost clan activity, whilst also making it that much more desirable for one to be in a good clan for the easy rewards. Simply put, these are massive tournaments which last several days with varying game modes and level caps. These events have garnered the attention of many and given players a platform through which they could be noticed by the community for their outstanding performances. I mean, think about it. If you get 100 wins, that, my friend, is a pretty significant accomplishment in itself. So it goes without saying that these tournaments aim to help upcoming players make their mark on the world. Additionally, there are prizes to be won and value offers to be unlocked, but we'll get into those details a bit later in today's video. After what seemed like an eternity of suspenseful waiting, trade tokens were introduced to the game to allow players to gather cards which they desire through another means other than standard card requests. It was aimed to help players in the community level up all their cards at a faster rate, so this included epic and legendary cards as well, in order to help encourage more diversity, as for as long as most of us older players can remember, common cards and rare cards have always been used much more than their epic and legendary counterparts. Trade tokens have really helped the game come a long way. There have been many different updates to the game, but some of the most loved updates, or hated depending on your point of view, were the arrival of different game modes, such as the classic deck game mode, which became available in Clan Wars after the success of the Archetype Challenge, Touchdown, which is one I personally dislike for my own reasons, and the limited time heist event to celebrate the global release of Brawl Stars. All of these new game modes help to perpetuate hype in the game and keep things interesting when things seem to be getting a little bit stale from time to time. Throughout the course of 2018, the dev team at Supercell have been trying to make the game as enjoyable as they can, and sure enough, many needed updates dropped, from the aforementioned trade tokens to things such as an improved shop and rework to several chests, such as the giant chest giving more gold and rare cards, whilst magical chests started giving more epic cards. There were some other changes as well, such as the super magical chest having been replaced by the mega lightning chest, and the conversion of legendary trophies to gold for long-time players who had them on their profiles basically doing nothing. There was also the free exclusive Royal Ghost mode, but again, that part of the update was mainly geared towards the older players who had these legendary trophies sitting on their profiles just gathering dust. Another quality of life update which was really beneficial to the senior players would have been the introduction of the star point system, which, as we all know by now, is a form of activity for the level 13 players in the community to enjoy. Basically, you donate or just gather cards that you have already maxed, and you'll just be gathering star points, which would then be spent on skins for your max cards in Clash Royale. Some other forms of quality life updates would be the many updates and changes to the Clan War game modes, and also addition of gem and gold rush events on ladder. And finally, in some of the most controversial updates, we saw the implementation of new emotes being released in value packs and then eventually being sold for 250 gems apiece. This, of course, would not have been something that most of the players particularly liked, as I'm sure many of you still have your problems with the cost of these emotes, but we'll discuss this in greater detail in the controversial changes section of this video. So, as I mentioned before, each game has its ups and downs, and Clash Royale is no exception. There are always going to be things which some percentage of the player pool may not agree with. With this being said, it goes without saying that there have been a few things which a large percentage of the player pool may not have agreed with during the updates for 2018. Some of these negative changes would include, but are not limited to, the removal of old private tourneys and a lack of further testing for balance changes. Now, don't get me wrong here, folks. The new private tournament system is pretty nice overall, but in all honesty, I do think that they should have left the old one as is to run side by side with the new one. My reasoning for this is because there were complications where people who gave monetary prizes were in violation of the terms of service for Supercell games, which is why the current private tourneys offer 0 prizes. While I can understand that they wanted to ensure that people followed through with their terms of service, people who aren't offering cash prizes can't exactly give anything else for the participants. no longer can small communities host tournaments which still offer something to their top players. It's only if the community has some form of an alternative prize, such as Amino coins in the Clash Royale Amino community which I run, can we reward players for their efforts, else they'd only be playing for, and I quote, the fun of it. So, balance changes have always been and always will be a hot topic, filled with both hype and rage from the fanbase. One issue which still hasn't been fully resolved is how the devs approach their balance changes. Now, I get that the matter is no easy task and that they do have their limitations with what they're able to do, etc. But I'm pretty sure that all senior players can agree that the back-to-back changes on certain cards such as the Barbarian Barrel and cards such as the Royal Recruits, which got their emergency nerf not long after being introduced to the game at the time, would cause many players to feel that they were tricked into upgrading cards that would soon lose their value. Now, both of these aforementioned cards are fairly balanced now, but I do think that the team could stand to benefit by contracting trusted pro players to help them playtest the balance changes they consider more often. This would help reduce the odds of a card being hit too hard with a nerf or given too great of a buff for future changes if they did implement this. Trade tokens have been a godsend for us playing in 2018, but when they made it so that trades now required 2 tokens to be done, it gave rise to problems with clans having tons and tons of trades just stacking up there and reducing the number of available messages that could be visible in the clan chats. Now, the problem was acknowledged by the dev team the very next day after the update, which I must commend them for, as owning up to their mistakes and even joking about it in their New Year's post is no easy thing to do. With this being said, I know many outraged players might have shared the idea of pushing trades to a different tab, but let's be real here. This would simply be moving the clutter elsewhere and not addressing the actual problem. I for one think that if a market feature or something of the sort were added where you could filter trades to find offers you're after and set up your own would be a great way to revolutionize the way we trade cards in the game. And now we're going to discuss a few controversial changes which came to the game in 2018. The first thing that may come to mind may be the global tournaments having prizes which you have to pay for after having unlocked them in the tournaments themselves. While I do understand that this would be annoying to players, it's really a matter of perspective. If you look at it from Supercell's point of view, they are a business company and their goal at the end of the day is to make money just like any other company. These prizes should be considered as special offers for reasonable prices in gems, as if you examine the varying contents for each tourney, they offer things which cumulatively surpass the value of the 500 gems they usually ask for if you are able to unlock all of the prizes. Still, if they could find a means of giving more to the players through these global tournaments without giving too much prizes that it break the game's economy in any way, that would be really great. A simple idea to help with how it is currently might be to throw in a gem prize or 2 in the free unlock milestones of maybe 50 or even 100 gems ever so often to players, so that they have more reason to play and can unlock the exclusive offers we talked about more often. Our next controversial topic would be that of the gem prices per emote from shop offers. To me, as a player who was protesting a lot that they actually had the offers in the first place, I'm very satisfied just seeing them available, as previously they were only obtainable via cash purchases. I do hope that the value packs return for those who could afford to spend on the game, as it was a cheaper purchase than in gems. But it would be nice if Supercell could shave the cost price to be something of maybe 150 or even 200 gems per emote, as it makes it harder for players to consider entering grand challenges or other such events, especially if they are free to play. And last but not least, our final controversial topic is that of the community poll based balance changes. Now, while I do appreciate that Supercell let the community vote for their choice in balance changes, it was not without problems. For instance, the options of Dart Goblin and Archers in one of the polls was bad in both ways, as the Dart Goblin was already an amazing card and was fine as is, whilst Archers were also in a great spot, and a buff to them would make interactions so fundamental, like a Mega Minion being able to kill them in one hit change. Another such poll was the one in which the Ice Wizard got his buff and then inevitably a nerf after an upsurge in usage and win rates with the Ice Wizard, Tornado and Tombstone combinations on defense. Community-based polls are something I think that they should avoid in future to avoid conflict of opinions of players and allowing for a chance for certain cards to get buffed or nerfed unnecessarily whilst ignoring the ones that really do need the attention. So now that you've heard my summary of the positive, negative and controversial changes made in 2018, I just want to say that I for one continue enjoying this game. It's pretty much the only mobile game I've ever played this much and consistently ever since I first got my smartphone, and despite the times where I might tilt from bad matchups and such, it's still very enjoyable to me. I really do appreciate the level of strategy and thought put into every move and the fact that there are so many very talented players in our community. I think that this game will be around for quite some time before it eventually grows less popular, like all games will eventually. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and do tell me what you all thought of the video overall. What was your favorite and most hated changes for 2018? Did I cover all the main changes, or was there something of significance that I missed that you remember? If there is anything that I missed, please do drop a comment so all other viewers reading the comments can take note of them as well. Like ratings are always appreciated. Let's see if we can get this video up to at least 20 likes. Hopefully we can hit that much. Oh, and as a little reminder, those interested in joining my clan family can check the description and pinned comment for more info. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Peace out, guys.